Hello students, welcome to the online class of physics. This is your Naima Miss back with the what is inside the atom. We have learned in our previous class, we have learned about the Thomson's model, and we have learned about the Rutherford's model or Rutherford's alpha particles experiment, scattering experiment, right? So in this class we are going to learn about the Mr. Bohr, who was a good scientist, a Danish scientist, Niels Bohr, and he said that Rutherford was having few of the limitations, right? So what he did, he did some of the more experiments and all to overcome the limitations of the Rutherford. So what did he say? In order to overcome the limitations of Rutherford's model, in 1913, Niels Bohr put forward a thought that electrons can be found only in certain energy levels. Okay, the electrons can be found only in some energy level. Suppose this is the nucleus. So he is saying that the electrons are found only in some energy levels. Okay, so how, or the reason or regions or around the electrons? Electron must gain energy to move to a higher energy level, or they must lose the energy to move to the lower energy level. Suppose this is one of the energy level. Okay, this is energy level 2, this is energy level 3. So when the electron has to move to the higher energy level, it has to gain the electrons energy, sorry. And if it is coming down from the high energy to low energy level, it has to lose the electrons energy. I'm sorry, again and again I'm telling electrons, but it is energy. Okay, when the electron is moving from lower energy level to higher energy level, it is gaining the energy. Okay, see, for example, when you climb up the steps. Okay, suppose you are climbing the steps. Now these are the steps, fine, and you are going up. So when you are going up, you require some of the energy, right? You need some energy. But while you are coming down, you feel very low weighted. Okay, that means you are releasing the energy. You don't want more energy. But when you are climbing up the stairs, you need energy. Similarly, when the electron is moving from low energy level to high energy level, it requires energy. When it is coming down from high energy level to low energy level, it loses energy. Okay, so this was the thing that Bohr want to explain. So think of books arranged in a bookshelf. Okay, they can be placed on a higher shelf or lower shelf, but never between the shelf. Okay, restricting the path of the electron inside the atom, Niels Bohr made the following postulates about the model of atom. So what did he say? He said that the electrons revolving round the nucleus in certain discrete circular orbit it is revolving round the nucleus in a discrete circular orbit. So it is in the form of orbit. So what are these circles called? They are called as orbits. Okay, the orbit or the shells are called as energy levels. So these orbits, or these are also called as shells, so these are nothing but the energy levels. Okay, these are nothing but the energy levels. Fine. While revolving in these discrete orbits, the electron do not radiate the energy. Okay, while revolving, they do not release any kind of energy. Okay, while revolving, they will be simply revolving, like how the sun, around the sun, the earth and the other planets are revolving. Similarly, the electron is also revolving around the nucleus, but it does not release any kind of energy or do not radiate any kind of energy. So that means electron is not going to crash into the nucleus, right? So the electron orbits or the shells are represented by the letter K, L, M and so on, or N is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. So how he gave the model? So like this, he said that the electron is at the center. like this proton is at the center, plus charge nucleus, and the orbitals or the energy levels we are representing it as n is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4. N means one of the orbit. Okay, it might be n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, similarly here we are saying K, L, M, N, and so on. Okay, so this is the Bohr's model of atom. Niels Bohr could successfully explain the properties of hydrogen atom like atomic spectra emitted by the hydrogen atom employing this model, but this model could not predict the spectra of other atoms. Like only hydrogen he was able to explain properly, but other than hydrogen he was unable to explain. So you must have noticed that none of these atomic models that have been studied so far have mentioned about the neutrons. Okay, this is because neutrons were discovered later in the year 1932. Okay, this was discovered in the year 1932. Until Rutherford's and Bohr's time, the neutron had not been discovered. Neutron was discovered only 2 decades later, except hydrogen atom, or the atom of all other elements contain neutrons in their nuclei. Okay, because they were doing experiments a lot on the hydrogen atom, so they were not able to find out what is neutron. Okay, but later afterwards the scientists who were studying atoms including other elements, then they came to know that exist neutrons also. So the model of atom as we know it today is the contribution of many scientists. Okay, it is a contribution of a lot of scientists. So many scientists, they were involved in this discovery of whatever model we are saying today. In our previous class, we have learned that the protons and neutrons weight is about 1836, isn't it? The mass of the protons and neutrons. Protons and neutrons, the weight is about 1836 times heavier than the mass of the electron. Right, protons and neutrons weight is 1836 times more than that of the electron. This so the mass of the entire atom is due to the weight of the protons and neutrons. Later it was discovered that most of the mass was concentrated inside the nucleus, and therefore the neutrons are also present inside the nucleus. So that was later considered that both protons and neutrons contribute to form the nucleus. Okay, so the weight of the protons and neutrons together will form the mass of the nucleus. So we'll see the contribution of electrons in different orbits, how they are distributed, how the electrons are distributed in different shells or orbits or energy levels. Let us see. So what did we learn till now? That in this atomic model, what is happening? The electrons are revolving around the nucleus, right? All the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in their particular orbits. This we have learned in our previous videos, even in our previous classes. So according to the atomic model, electrons move around the nucleus of an atom in an electric shell. Electrons in different shells have different energies. Okay, they are even situated, or they take positions based on their different energies. So these each energy level is given as N, right? Each energy level is given by L, and it is given as K, L, M, or 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? So these shells are called as what? They are all called as energy levels, or the shell number is also called as energy level index. The shell closest to the nucleus is called as K. The shell farther away has a little high energy. Okay, so the K which is present closest to the nucleus is having lowest energy. Okay, it is having very low energy, and the level which is present away from the, like further after K will come L, right? So it is having a little high energy. Okay, it will have higher energy when compared to K. Okay, higher energy than K. Similarly, Again when comes the M, okay, K, L, M. So this M is again having little more energy when compared to K, L. Okay, both K and L. So that is M will have higher energy than the L. Okay, so like this the system will be falling. Okay, the maximum number of electrons present in a shell is given by the formula 2n square. Okay, it is given by the formula what? 2n square. So where n is nothing but your energy level index. Okay, which takes the value of 1, 2, 3 and so on. The maximum number of electrons that can accommodate in each shell is given in the table. So what we are going to do, we will see in each shell how many number of electrons will be coming. So now how to calculate? How we are going to calculate the number of electrons which can fit in one shell. Okay, so that is we are taking K. What was the formula that we learned? That was 2n square, right? So 2 into what is K number? N is equal to 1. So n square. So how you'll write? 2 into 1 square is 1, which is equal to 2. So that means 2 electrons can be placed in the first or the K shell. Okay, then L is equal to 2 into what is N is equal to 2. 2 whole square, which is equal to 2 into 2 2s are 4, right? So which will be given as 4 2s are 8. So 8 electrons can be placed here. Like that, M is equal to 2 into 3, 3 whole square, which is equal to 2 into 3 3s are 9. So 9 2s are 18, right? So like this continues. Number of shells, we are going to place the number in this formula and we are going to get the value. So 2 into 4 4s are 16, 2 16s are 32. So like this we are going to get the number of electrons which are going to be filled in the each energy level. Okay, so energy level or the electron shell is further divided into subshells. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in each subshell is 8. Electron can be filled in a given shell unless the inner shell are completed. That is, shells are filled in stepwise manner. One shell is filled, then it will go to the another shell. K shell can accommodate how many electrons? Number of electrons is equal to number of protons. So it has 8 electrons. So the K shell can accommodate maximum 2 electrons. So first 2 electrons fill the shell, that is N is equal to 1. Then number of electrons, the other 6 electrons can be filled in the shell, that is L. So if it is having the number of electrons are 8, okay, an atom is having number of electrons are 8, then that means it is stable. Then the electronic structure for oxygen, for example, if we take oxygen, if you take oxygen atomic number is 8. So how you will fill now? We are saying that the lowest energy level is filled. So lowest energy level is K. So K, how many electrons will get? That is 2. So we are going to fill first 2 electrons in K. Then how many electrons are left over? 6. So those 6 we will fill in L. Okay. Then 2 plus 6. 2 plus 6. This will be your electronic configuration. Okay, so we'll arrangement of electrons for the first 8 elements, as I have already shown how the electrons will be filled. For example, we are saying oxygen. So this is the center of the, so suppose this is the nucleus. Okay, now this is the first shell, that is K, or you can say N is equal to 1. So 2 electrons are filled here. Okay, and this is the second shell, that is L. Okay, now you can see that how many electrons are here? 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, 6 are filled. So that will give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 is the atomic number of the oxygen. I hope it is clear, children. So in next class we will continue the topic. Until then, take care. Thank you.